So I'm in another wood now, and this wood was the one that I originally thought I was entering, because this one is more Jurassic. This one has more diversity in its topography and landscape, and a different variety of tree. I think, I'm in a special place now, right? I'm in a special place here, I'm in a special place here. And you can be doing a whole number of things. Washing up, washing the car, driving the forklift at work, and all these other sorts of things. If you are, I would save this video for later. Because if you're really going to appreciate what's happening now, you need to be very mindful. You need to be very still. You need to be very observant and open and contemplative about what actually is going on here. Now, I'm in one of these realms, like that one over there. That's the one I just came from. And you have to scale these walls, and they are prohibited to enter due to conservation. And of course, well, who out of the general public would want to come into these places anyway, with all the creepy crawlies and all the rest of it? Doubtless there'd be some nature loving people that would, but they aren't given that option. And so, well, we have to take it. Because at the end of the day, the whole world was given to us by our Creator. It's only man who imposes restrictions upon us. And so, invariably, unless there's a very, very good reason, which I'm in agreement with, I don't succumb to or comply with their requests. Because I'm just passing through. I'm not going to be taking anything. I'm not going to be leaving anything. Save, I will be taking an incredible experience, and I will be leaving my energy. Because these natural environments, trees, they appreciate human energy. And when you take entheogens, you'll know about this, people, because trees like this will be talking to you. And when you look at their bark, this will all be breathing. It'll be going like this, gently, like a big dinosaur. The whole thing will be breathing. The whole forest will be breathing and pulsating. It's incredible. Now, I didn't see that much on this particular occasion, because the shrooms I took were 8 months old, and you'd seriously benefit from fresh mushrooms. On previous occasions when I took fresh mushrooms, the whole experience has been very, very different. But I can't ever say that mushroom trips are what you didn't need. And hello, what do you want? Buzzy bee? So I got more than I could ever wish for. It wasn't all necessarily Jurassic Park. I've seen better, but the downloads I've got, the realizations, wonderful. And so it wasn't a visual thing, it was a cerebral thing this time, because I needed the cerebral. Because God needs to speak to me via the cerebral, because He knows how I work. I'm very cerebral. And He has tried to speak to me via the heart, but the heart has been hardened over the years, and so he's had little success. So he knows he's got to come in from another direction, and he's got to appeal to my logic and rational thought as well as my emotions, but it can't be that overt. It can't be all, you've got to open your heart, awaken brave, and you've got to love. No, it's not like that. And so it's very, very bizarre how these entheogens work with us all in our individual way. And this is why we can never listen to anybody about what you will expect from any variety of entheogen plant medicine. No, you are going to get what the universe knows you need. And we're all very, very different. Now, the thing is about this wood, it's a lot more hilly. There's a lot of rocky outcrops, and there are more diversity in the trees. And when I get up to these realms, I will show you what I'm talking about. You see, you've got to be careful. There's all different sorts of little cliffs and shit like that you can fall down. You can't really be stepping too blind into all this stuff, people. And I've just got sandals on, and they're not ideal for this terrain. Of course, you'd warrant from boots, but when we get to these places, and we see how life has struggled and how life has encountered obstacles along the way, and how life deals with it, how life deals with these obstacles. And so whether you're a human being, whether you're a deer, whether you're a bee or a spider, we have the same obstacles, people. Or at least we have the reality of obstacles which we need to overcome, which we need to negotiate. And they may all be different. And even with the human beings, they're not all the same, are they? Now, I've been all these places before, many times, because, like I say, I grew up around these realms, and I was always of the mind that I don't listen to rules and things like that and prohibitives, because there's things I want to see. There's things cosmic God consciousness wants to show me. And it wants to show me these things because it knows I have the greatest appreciation, because I have the eyes that see. And so I see things like this sweet chestnut tree with its beautiful twists. And when we look at varying trees, they all have their individuation, and they are stunning beyond measure. And when you see these in the height of a psilocybin trip, when they're breathing and they speak with you, well, people, you know that there's more to life. And I have some ketamine and I have some acid. I never took acid and I never took ketamine, but I'm going to be taking them soon enough. And I'm going to be doing the acid up here, and I may even enter this same location because it's one of the most beautiful, and it's away from the herd, and so I will never encounter anybody, and everything is going to be breathing and shifting. And I'll be getting downloads and insights. The first time taking acid, wow, that would be quite something. That would be quite something for the awakened brave, to see how it differs from other substances. Now the thing is about this wood, it's got lots of spiky stuff. It's got 4 and 5 feet high bracken, and it's a bit tricky. And in small shorts and sandals, I'm not really dressed for the occasion, but you see, look, things like this, people. I've made videos about this stuff before, several years ago. It's another chestnut. And so if we look at the leaves, we can see that the leaves are very distinctive. And we can see that their bark is very distinctive. And it has these beautiful twists. And how trees twist and contort and make up their mind how they want to negotiate the world. It really is quite something. It really, really is. And then when we look down, places like this, we see how a tree is laid down. And this tree could literally be hundreds of years old. It could go back to Henry VIII. Because these trees take a long, long time to decay. And I would think that's an oak tree by the way it feels, and it's breaking up, and how it splits into these sections. Another gorgeous, gorgeous chestnut tree. And then we have this one, which is a pine. And then we have this one, which is an oak. And then we have another pine over there. And then some pines here. Now there's some rocky outcrops up here. And they are beautiful to see. And I'm kind of, wishing that I had some more DMT. Or I was still in the throes of the shroom trip. I think shroom trips, if you don't have anything to work on, you can enjoy then. You can just walk around in amazement. And I want to do that. But this time I knew I had something to work on. And so when you've got stuff to work on, that takes precedent. And when you no longer are in a trip which is teaching you about yourself, then you're pretty good. You're good to go, people. And it will show you then everything else. And so I'm looking forward to taking acid, because it's not necessarily a teacher, it's not all the mushrooms, it just shows you different stuff. And so apparently acid is much lighter on the mind, no big deep pensive stuff, no speaking to God and all that. It just shows you the world from its perspective. And so I'm very, very desirous now to experience that. I have used all of my psilocybin, and I've used all of my DMT, and well, I've got to wait until the fall if I'm going to get some more shrooms. And you see, the thing is about the shrooms, when you take them when they're fresh, they give you a very, very potent and beautiful experience. But it's in the heart of winter. or at least it's in late fall. And so invariably the place is dank and it's dark. And I don't want to do entheogens in that sort of realm. The first time I did mushrooms, I suppose it was about 4 grams of fresh. Wow, that was a 10-hour trip. And fortunately, it was a sunny day, but it was misty and it was dank. And you know, it was November, and we did it. We started in a park, myself and Mr. Nobody. And we saw a bit of nature. I saw how the birds flew, and I saw every single flap of their wings like they were an animation. It's like everything's a cartoon. I could see the wing flapped here, then it flapped there, then it flapped there. I could see every single like a clip in a movie. I could see that when birds flew by, and when I looked at the trees, they were all dancing and exhibiting, and one of them was. A variety of pine tree. Um, I forget what the name of it is now. It has these huge, like silver cones, and it looks like a Christmas tree. It has a blue hue to it. All the pines are blue hue to it. A cedar tree. It was a variety of cedar tree, and stood there majestic and powerful. But I became overwhelmed, and all the grass was turning into hexagons. Boof, 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 boof. And so I started heading for the Matrix. You know, it blew me away the first time I'd done this, and I was walking up and down the roads, and then I saw faces in the pavements, and the trees were calling me, and the people I saw were hollow, empty husks, and everyone was just milling around with nowhere to go. They were like extras in my movie. It was very vacuous, and I'm like, wow, I'm the only sentient person here on this planet, very solipsistic. And so yeah, I mean, something to be reckoned with, people. But I did eventually find a small wood with huge cedar trees. They called me in, and I laid down, and I just drifted away for about 20 minutes with my big coat on my hat. It was freezing cold and it was wet. The trees, they want you to spend time with them. They really do. They share your energy. And so I'm heading up because there's a place. You see, I came in this wood many years ago with Mr. Nobody when I was exploring Amanita muscaria, and I took 20 grams of Amanita muscaria on this day, and it's the day I experienced lycanthropy in this very wood where I embodied a wolf. And I acted like a wolf. I was running around on all fours and I was howling, woo! And, you know, I was sniffing at everything, and I thought I was a wolf. And then I embodied a Viking, and I acted out a Viking, you know, with all this warrior shit and everything. And then there was a primal man which entered me, and I lived, or they lived vicariously through me. For about 20 minutes at a time, and Mr. Nobody was filming me when I was doing all this stuff, and it was some of the most incredible experiences I've ever had in my life, people. These entheogens, these natural plant medicines, they are incredible. And for those who haven't ever partook in them, is it any wonder that you don't know what I'm speaking about? I'm speaking from a different dimension of consciousness, aren't I? And, you know, some people find that demeaning and belittling, and then you'd like to defend yourselves and say that, oh, we don't need drugs to we can experience that. No, you do need these things. You really do. You would never experience what it's like to be a wolf or a Viking or a primal man with your everyday sentience. You just wouldn't do it, people. And you'll never have God speaking to you in such a profound way like I have today if it wasn't for these portals. So you do need these things. And anybody that knows anything about the world has partook in these things. And you know, you've got people like, of course, Sam Harris has, Jordan Peterson has, Joe Rogan has, goodness me, I think even Tucker Carlson has. We're in that time, people, where we know that there is another dimension of consciousness that we can experience with these things, and we cannot dismiss them as woo-woo fantasy and whatever else we want to project onto them. No, they are very, very real. I've just got to tighten up my shoes because I'm just slipping around too much. They are very, very real, and the experiences they give us are incredible. But I'm not just talking about amphibians, I'm talking about what I'm doing now. I have never ever, in all the years I've been doing this, met anybody else that's breaking the rules and that's doing this. Why? Why am I so different? Why is there never anybody else in these places where I can go, how you doing? Oh, what are you doing here? Oh, I'm doing photography, or I'm looking for mushrooms, or I just love I love the energy. The energy's special in here. I've never spoken to anyone like that. You've got the drones over the other side of the wall. And I don't know if we're compassionate. What do we say about these people? This is what, I want to know. What do we say? What do we refer them as? How do we refer them? Or how do we refer to them? NPCs, automaton, The Walking Dead, what do we do? There's a vast difference, people, between the people that will come over that wall and those that won't. Now, in all these years, I'm telling you, since I've been, conscious, and let's say from a kid, let's say from 10 years old, coming up, 8 years old, I was coming to this park. I was coming to this park on my chipper, and my elder brother was on his chopper, and we were coming up to this park. So I was 8 years old, 9 years old, and it was a long way on a chipper. For those of you that are British, you'll know that the chipper is a smaller version than the chopper. The chopper was very, very popular in the 70s. And so me and my brother and an odd friend, we'd come up to these places and we would always end up in the out of bounds. We just would. We just did it. Nobody else did it. We've never seen anybody else. Why is that? These are the questions that we have to ask. Because I'm not a member of the herd. Why aren't I a member of the herd? Why do I always get off the beaten track? Why does cosmic God consciousness always want me to do this? It's because it's got something that it wants to show me, because it knows I deeply appreciate what it's got, like nobody else appears to, because if they did, they would be here. And so, this is where supercilious can enter, scorning them. And it's kind of like, it just is what it is, They don't know. Their consciousness is different. Just because I've been blessed, I can't scorn them. I can't scorn them in good conscience anymore. Because if I did, then I wouldn't be that wise, would I? If I'm always looking down and belittling people that haven't achieved or been blessed with what I've been blessed with, then it's not very wise, is it? And, this is the thing about being spiritually enlightened. Well, you have to realize these things. You have to know these things. And you have to know and have compassion for those that are simply not where you are. And they never will be. So I was on all fours at the top of that, and I was howling, woo! And Mr. Nobody was standing here filming me, laughing like fuck. And then, when the primal man entered me, I took off all my clothes, down to my shorts, and I was just running through. I took everything off and just threw it away. And this was in autumn. I just wanted to be free, like I always am. body out in the natural environment. I've got such a kinship, people, such a kinship with this stuff. It's where I belong. Pagan through and through. Absolutely pagan. And I know how I've had many other lives, and I know I've lived in this northern hemisphere, probably in Britain, thousands of years, thousands of lives. And this stuff means the world to me. And we look at how these configurations are, how these stones weathered in this way, in this tiered sort of way. Even here, weathering in that sort of way. Now, I would love to do some of my sherbet here. This place, just to sit down here and do some more sherbet. And the things about this sherbet, you leave it an hour and you're good to go again. And you're in for 5-10 minutes, and then you're out again. So, I'm going to have a drink of water, and I'm going to have a walking meditation, because I can't always be this fly in the wall, narrating guy. I can't always be that. Even though it seems that, and it has done for many, many years, that my job is to record this earth experience and send it out into the ether. And I've often said, when I was back in the day with Mr. Nobody, it's like I've come down from a spaceship and I'm gathering up data on Earth, and I'm telepathically sending it back. But also I was always filming it for the human experience, so I could also share it with human beings. So not only was I telepathically recording all of this stuff for my fellow men, I was doing it for posterity with YouTube. And I can't not do that. I can't stop sharing. That's an absolute compulsion. And so it's bigger than me, people. It's bigger than me. And it's not because of the money, because I don't get any money. It's not because of the fame, because I've not got any fame. It's because it's my job. It's what consciousness wants me to do. And so, this is what I do. So without any further ado, there's more wonderful things to see. I'll be back.